Hello listeners and welcome to the June edition of the Ipsum Art and Soul Show on Swindon 105.5. While you listen to this, your ears can't look elsewhere. This month we have all the usual shenanigans with a mix of poetry, music, film and food and book reviews. We have an interview with Stephen Niowa, a Swindon-based holistic therapist. And we start the show off with a track chosen by John, who is part of the radio crew at Ipsum. This is Luther Ingram with I'll Be Your Shelter.
When your troubles seems more than you can afford, and you feel you need a friend, someone to share the load. When your sky grows cloudy, I want you to know you got a friend that's true, just like a shelter in the time of storm. I'll see you through, that's what I'll do. When your dreams are scattered, just like the wind-blown sand, and you feel you need a friend, I'll be there. Reach out your hands, and when the rain starts to fall, I'll be there just to hold on to, just like a shelter in the time of storm. I'll see you through, that's what I'll do. I will see you through, 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 I will see you through. I'll see you through your hang-ups, I'll see you through your fears, I'll see you through sad times. Honey, I'll dry all your tears. And when the tempest is raging, I want you to know you got a friend that's true, just like a shelter in the time of storm. I'll see you through, that's what I'll do. Just like a shelter in the time of storm. I'll see you through, that's what I'll do. Just like a shelter in the time of storm. I'll see you through, that's what I'll do. Just like a shelter in the time of storm. I'll see you through, that's what I'll do.
That was Luther Ingram with I'll Be Your Shelter. And now
It's time for Sue's review.
This is a review of Me, You, Not a Diary by Dawn French. So the first thing to say is that the original hardback version of this book also contains space for the reader to write their own diary entries. Mine is a paperback and omits this option, though there are spaces for a few little exercises in the book. The book has a simple structure. It's written in 4 sections corresponding to the 4 seasons, which Dawn explains reflect the 4 ages of life and then further subdivided into 12 months of the year. The structure is just a neat vehicle for Dawn to write what is effectively a positive, quirky book full of little gems of wisdom and riddled with fun. If you are of a generation to know of Dawn French's work, French and Saunders, Vicar of Dibley in particular, you'll relate to many of her stories and hear her clear voice as she passes on her wit and wisdom in this eminently readable book. On this point, I would add that in my teens, my sisters and I avidly watched French and Saunders and reenacted scenes in the playground next day. Then in my children's teens, they avidly watch The Vicar of Dibley on repeat, so much so that my daughter can quote key lines from every episode. Dawn really is a hero in our house. Anyway, back to the book. It's packed with anecdotes, lists, little thought-provoking messages, and the odd exercise to help you on the road to self-acceptance and happiness. Chapter 2, for example, involves Dawn listening to her various body parts one by one and commenting on why she likes them, or at least why she accepts them. In March, she focuses on her mum, because Mother's Day is in March, and in particular she explains how, even though she mourns her passing very much, she is grateful for the stable, loving childhood her mum and dad provided, which has helped her and her brothers to cope with life. In her inimitable style, she then provides us with a list of the wisdom she hopes she might have passed on to her own children. Stuff like, every day clean slate, be kind, don't be late, value other people's time, don't let anyone tell you that you can't sing, dancing is a mood shifter, do it every day, especially in lifts, always poke fun at powerful people, listen, failure is useful. You don't have to set fire to yourself to keep someone else warm. Don't contaminate chocolate with fruit. Take time for a decent poo. Wrap up warm. Smile. April starts with this fab quote from Joan Collins on beauty. The problem with beauty is that it's like being born rich and gradually getting poorer. It's a bit sad. Dawn does not deny the benefits of external beauty, but explains that inner beauty, in the form of kindness, humour, being interesting and interested, are ultimately far more long-lasting and attractive. Dawn's summer list consists of the following words of wisdom she has learnt over the years. There is no need to be perfect, ever. Someone else's achievements are not your failings. Someone else's mistakes don't belong to you. Every now and then, a bit of rejection does you good. Don't resist pain, else it grows and destroys you. It's okay to say no without having to explain. The ideal antidote to frustration is gratitude. It's possible to change your mind. Never, ever be alone in a house with chocolate. Nothing is more significant than love. It's worth saying here that Dawn has talked about some of the difficulties she has faced. With Lenny Henry, her first husband, she struggled with problems of infertility, for example, but happily they were able to adopt their daughter. Sadly, however, the marriage failed some years ago. Throughout her childhood, Dawn's beloved dad suffered terribly with depression, though she had no idea how bad it was before he killed himself when she was just a young woman. This tragedy obviously cast a great shadow over her life. The point in mentioning this is that the book is authentic. It's not just an excuse in self-publicity from some inaccessible celebrity who's no idea about troubles and difficulty. It's lovely writing from one of our national treasures. Dawn French is perhaps not normal from the viewpoint of her iconically successful comedy and acting career, but in the struggles she has faced, she has survived some things that many of us thankfully won't ever need to. She's one of my true, absolute heroes. I like and respect her, have found her to be interesting, funny and real. Who else would openly blame their expanding middle on too many curly whirlies, for example? This book is full of good sense and humour. It's very easy to read, and I highly recommend it to you. It's by Dawn French, and it's called Me, You, Not a Diary.
That was Sue's Reviews, and now a cover of The Climb by Miley Cyrus by Charlie Houston.
I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaking, but I gotta keep trying, gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain, I'm always gonna wanna make it move, always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side.
That was Charlie. This is the Goat.
Rusty Goat's back again. Just one more step. I've fallen again, and I've got no energy to keep fighting it, to keep fighting with it. Each step, every breath, that follows step, that follows, that follows, that follows. Each step, every breath. And then I'm running with it. One drink won't kill. I stumble but never spill a drop. Well practised at these antics. Taking it too far once too often. Renowned for my inability to say no. I'd go wherever the drink was dripping. The only thing about what I was thinking. Pass me the bottle and I'll throttle all life out of it until I'm passed out with it, clutching it like a security blanket, a fragile glass comfort zone, a comfortably numb, warm embrace. If only I knew back then, with hindsight, if only I knew, if only I understood my mind. Post-drink induced depression, bouts of alcoholic psychosis, drunk without inhibition, not to mention the use of psychoactive recreational substances, euphoria followed by paranoia, hazy next day vague memories, stomach churning anxiety, muscle tearing vomitless retching, followed by deep dark hollow, isolation and the emptiness, the unbearable emptiness. And true to form, I return again to a trusted, reliable, close friend. I twist the cap, I open the wrap, I slip slowly, I feel alive again. Each breath, every step, that follows breath, that follows step, that follows, that follows, that follows. Each step, every breath. Closer to the edge, just one more step.
So from Rusty's poem, we go into a song called Sha-La-La by our very own Rockin' Rob Bell.
And you have realized
That was Sha-La-La by Rocking Rob Bell, and now a poem by Sue Hammond called Get Out of Your Own Way.
Get out of your own way. All this time I've wasted, all the failure and the tears, 'cause I'm cowed behind lost confidence and I'm frightened of the fear. I strive to find some purpose and I want to be of use, but my panic seems to stop me dead. It's a very real excuse. I'm terrified to move and I'm scared down to my core. The voice inside my head says, you can't do this anymore. Why do you always do this? Why destroy you from within? The habits that you formed became a protective second skin. Don't fall back on the negatives. Don't focus on the trouble. You can live a more fulfilling life, but you must pop your own bubble. When the world is out to get you, don't fuel the flames from within. Make a plan of what you need to do and step out from the wings. Get out of your own way, girl. Here's your new battle cry. Stop sapping your own power. Your energy is running dry. Get out of your reflections. Take a step into the light. You don't need that self-protection. You don't need to always fight. Get out of your own way, girl. Don't wait for the sky to fall. Stop the shallow breathing. Say hello to your new world. Get out of your own way, girl. Relax and breathe right in. Don't let nerves overwhelm you. Let the overture begin. The world, it is your oyster. To the earth you are a pearl. Just step into your future. Go on and take the world. Get out of your own way, girl. You've a life's purpose to fulfill. Get out of your own way, girl. Decide to, and you will.
And now on the Art and Soul Show, an oldie but goldie by Blondie called Dreamin'.
I met you in a restaurant. You could tell I was no debutante. You asked me what's my pleasure, a movie or a measure. I'll have a cup of tea and tell you of my dreaming. Dreaming is free. Dreaming is free. I don't want to live on charity. Pleasure's real or is it fantasy? Real to real is living rarity. People stop and stare at me. We just walk on by. We just keep on dreaming. Beat me, walking into a mile. Meet me at the turnstile. I never met him. I'll never forget him. Dream, even for a little while. Dream, then let the night out fade away. I sit by and watch the river flow. I sit by and watch the traffic go. Imagine something of your very own, something you can have at home. I build a road and go just to have some dreaming. Dreaming is free. Dreaming is free. Dreaming is free.
And moves through the tip of the month. Hello.
Hi, hello again. It's Andrew with Food Subjects. Right, this time, I believe, I was in town and I was looking for something to eat, and I thought cheese on toast would do it. Cheap but nice to eat, and also healthier than some things. So I decided to go to Morrison's Cafe, and they don't do cheese on toast, but they do cheese toasty sandwiches. Same sort of thing, different way made. I asked the price. They said for £8. I said, okay, that's a bit too much. I'll go somewhere else. So I went to the next stop. I ended up at was the Library Cafe. Same price for the same thing. Cheesy, toasty cheese sandwich, basically cheese on toast. So I gave that up as well. And finally, I come to a shop called the Regent Cafe. And I said, do you do cheese on toast here? Because I'm after that, not toasty sandwiches, but which is like quite similar. And they said, yes, we do it. So I was pretty happy. And I found out the price of that was £4, not £8 like it was in the library or in Morrison's. So I say £4, which was very good, I reckon. And I waited for the cheese on toast for about 5 minutes. Then it was delicious. Cheese was all over it, and it was a lovely meal, and it's very cheap, and that's what I wanted at the time. And I got what I wanted for a low price. Thank you.
From Andrew's Foodies Tips to Brian and Nathan's interview of Steve, a BSR practitioner.
Steve, you've come to join us today to tell us all about what?
Right, I'm here to talk to you about a little-known technique called body stress release.
Body stress release. Does that mean you're talking about bodies or just bits and pieces of it?
We're talking about the whole body. It's, as I say, it's a technique. It was developed about 30 years ago out of a very, very light form of chiropractic, but it has a way of connecting with people's bodies. So it works on the physical level, and it works on the mental, emotional level too.
How similar is it to osteopathy and chiropractic, and maybe even acupuncture? You know, they all seem to be some form of complementary. Are they similar?
Yes, and people often ask, because you hear the name body stress release and you wonder what it is, what it's connected to. So yes, it was developed, as I say, some 30 years ago from a very, very light form of chiropractic. So yes, it has similarities. In fact, when it was first invented, they were actually ostracized from the chiropractic organization because it was so light, it didn't fit in with the rest of the practice at the time. But it's been since developed, and yes, it forms, I suppose, what you would say is complementary medicine, so where we're outside mainstream, but very, very useful for those people that perhaps don't wish to go through medication or surgery, or where the conventional route, for example, in this country, it's usually physiotherapy, where the conventional route that you might get through your doctor or through the NHS just hasn't worked.
So, Steve, you said instead of medication, this would be something that you would do instead of medication. How would you go by doing that?
What happens is I've got a lot of clients that are perhaps a little resistant to using medication. Now, what we would say is, well, no, always take your doctor's advice, and if you are meant to be on a specific prescription medication, then yes, obviously not to stop taking it. However, when you do BSR, or quite often a lot of these other complementary techniques, what they can do is actually lower your body stress, and that perhaps might enable you to lower the dose of medication that you're taking. So they can work hand in hand, and it can be part of your health regime, so to speak.
So you'd say your therapy would be more beneficial than taking medication?
No, I wouldn't say that at all. But what I would say is what it can do is help you perhaps reduce the need for certain types of medication. Absolutely.
Okay. This is a physical practice. I mean, how much could you do for someone who had mental health problems? Is that viable?
It is viable. If I sort of wind back a little bit and look at the origins of stress, we're talking about releasing stress, so I think it's probably important to say, well, how do we get into a state of stress? So with body stress release, what we look at is that everybody has their own threshold for stress. There's a level at which we're comfortable with. There's a level above which, if we go, our body reacts. 3 different types of stress. There is the physical, which is quite common. And the physical can be something traumatic, like you have a whiplash event, or it can be something very drip, the way you sat in a chair, the way you hold your handbag over your shoulder, something like that. That's the physical side. There are also the mental, emotional stress we have. Day-to-day living, family, all sorts of different things going on in our lives, and that again can be a traumatic event, maybe a death, maybe a change of job, maybe redundancy, or it can be something again that's very slow, so to speak, chronic over a long period of time. Well, that also builds up stress. The third one is chemical. Perhaps a little bit more prevalent nowadays when you're looking at what we eat and what we drink. So anything that we put in our body, medication, anything that we eat and drink, food intolerances, things like that. Again, our body has a resistance, a certain level, above which we go into stress. So when we apply the technique of body stress release, what it does is it allows that threshold to be lowered so that we have a greater capacity for dealing with the stress. It has a lovely soporific effect. It puts you in a really lovely sleepy place, as it were. And so it does have this ability to connect to that sort of mental, emotional side as well.
I was going to say, Steve, because I really love sleeping, so if you could put me in a sleepful state, I would be more than happy to come along.
It does, and I had a client that was on my table on my BSR table this morning that was snoring her head off and really enjoying it.
You're talking about bodies and laying on of hands. What difference is there between what you're doing and various religious groups of laying on hands to heal?
Okay, well, I mean, laying on hands is a very, very special thing. It doesn't happen very often. So there is always that connection that you have with your clients. And yes, BSR and my background, I'm very much a science-based background, and BSR, some of the practitioners do have a more faith-based approach, but that doesn't need to be the case. But I believe that quite often when you're spending the time with a person, that is very, very special. They allow you, and it is an allowance, where they allow you to lay your hands on and start the manipulations or the treatment, the technique. That again is a very special thing. And the effects are tremendous. And I think far too often we perhaps are guided towards medication or physical treatments that we have to wait a very, very long time for, or surgery which is permanent. Perhaps we don't explore other options for our healthcare.
Because Steve, you did mention between physical stress and mental stress. Which of those would you say would help more your therapy? Would it be the mental aspect or would it be the physical aspect?
So I think most people come to me with a physical issue. So they will come to me with shoulder pains, with frozen shoulder, with back pain, with sciatica, or with headaches. But as a result of releasing those and resolving those issues, you get a very, very positive mental effect. So if you have got a headache, your sleep is poor. If you have got bad back and you can't move, your energy, your mojo is lost. And by actually getting people back active, back to where they used to be, again, it helps improve the mental state.
Right, Steve, we're out of time as usual. I've got to ask you one final thing.
Yes.
And then you've got to give me details of how to get in touch with you.
Okay.
The final thing is, a lot of these complementary medicine outfits have got charlatans working for them. They don't know what they're doing. In fact, they do you harm. How do we know who to look for if we don't live in the same area as you're working?
Well, the important thing I'd say is do a little bit of research. There's a BSR website. There are a lot of testimonies on that website from across the world. And it really is just a case, I suppose, of doing that. In terms of the technique, it's very easy access because you are fully clothed. And again, it's a physical technique. In terms of getting in contact with me, there is the BSR UK website, or I'm available in Swindon, and my contact number is 077 589 54436, and that's Swindon BSR.
You better do that number again because I would never get it written down in time.
It's 077 589 54436.
Steve, many thanks for your help in this subject.
No, I think Steve should go for it and just do his thing, you know.
Fabulous. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Steve.
And now some poetry from Patrick Cox called A Mother's Love.
Angels appeared one winter's night, forever gone from my sight. Why did you go? It wasn't time. Still so young, life in its prime. They say God moves in mysterious ways. The good they go, and evil stays. You taught me to be true and kind. in body, spirit, and in mind. You gave your love to one and all, until the angels came to call. I know you watch from up above, your spirit casting down its love. Even now my own prime years, with my joys, prayers and tears. My love for you will never die, for me there is no other. Why did you go? It makes me cry. Mother, oh sweet mother.
And now we're moving into a track called Undertow by my band called Flower Babies. That's Flour. This track was recently featured on a spring compilation from the very excellent tape label Z Tapes in Europe. So make sure you go and check that out. If you check out the Z Tapes Bandcamp, it's up there. You can also check out our Bandcamp, that's Flower Babies. For more tracks, more music. We've been releasing loads of music recently, so go up there and check it out. But yeah, this one's called Undertow by Flower Babies.
How do you stand in so much sand? Don't you feel that undertow? How do you read as the pages turn? I guess maybe I'm too slow.
That was Swindon band Flower Babies with Undertow. This is a poem by John Joe called Of Hope and Hindsight.
To feel special, but alone in one's suffering. Isolated, but not the only one. An individual lost in the mayhem of a crowd. Oneself, but feeling the pain of others. At last, some kind of comfort. A chance to see a way forward. To sense the soul of another. To recognise what may be a bigger picture. What you have lost may be seen as a sacrifice. What you have found is too powerful to handle. Your identity and self in a state of confusion. There is more to this than you first realised. Find help, give help, be help. Not a lost soul, just someone on the move. Have purpose, be purposeful, know purpose. Not a sinner, not a taker, but part of it.
This next song is a cover of The Colourfields, hit Thinking of You, from the 80s by Mike here at Ipsum.
I guess I kinda sorta know I ought to be thinking of you. But a friendship's built on trust, and that's something you never do. But who knows, maybe tomorrow we can share each other's sorrow and compare our graveside manner as we wave our lonely banners. And if you ever think of me, I'll be thinking of you. If you decide to change your views, I'm thinking of you. You can walk away from loneliness anytime you choose. And you're the kind of person that hasn't anything to lose. But who cares, maybe tomorrow you could lead and I would follow. So walk where angels fear to tread, for everything you've ever wanted. And if you ever think of me, I'll be thinking of you. If you could spare an hour or two, you'd know what to do. 'Cause I could be the one thing there in your hour of need. So if you decide to change your views, I'm thinking of you. Let's roll the dice in a full paradise. Share moonlit nights, breathing nothing but light. Let's open our eyes, and we should take a bus to somewhere else, to somewhere new. And thank God we're alive and bite off more than we can chew. Do the things that just don't matter. Laugh while the others look in anger. Stumble over four-leaf clovers and wave goodbye to lonely banners. And if you ever think of me, you know I'm thinking of you. Through thick and thin I bear it and grin and never give in. 'Cause I could be the one thing there in your hour of need. So if you decide to change your views, I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking of you.
And now, joke of the month.
What kind of cheese do you use to get a bear out of a tree? Come on, bear.
And now a cover by Paul Heaton and Jackie Abbott's I Gotta Praise by Sue Hammond.
I ain't been to church in a decade or so. I gotta praise me somebody. It's telling our Bible when I'm feeling low. I gotta praise me somebody. The phone calls I make are totally ignored. They only ring back if they're drunk or they're bored. Get me someone or I'll turn to the Lord. I gotta praise me somebody. I gotta worship, I gotta praise. Spend all my minutes and waste all my days. I gotta compliment, I gotta serve. I gotta give someone all they deserve. Down on my knees and I'm begging you please. I gotta find me somebody. Long-term relationship just a quick squeeze. I gotta find me somebody. My football team lose every game I attend. The florist returns any flowers I send. I'm sick of the hours alone that I spend. I gotta love me somebody. I gotta worship, I gotta praise. Spend all my minutes and waste all my days. I gotta compliment, I gotta serve. I gotta give someone all they deserve. The temple, the Muslims and mosques, and I can't even name any lovers I've lost. Gotta have someone to peck on the cheek, hug me and say that this with me all week. I gotta worship, I gotta praise. Spend all my minutes and waste all my days. I gotta compliment, I gotta serve. I gotta give someone all they deserve. I gotta worship, I gotta praise. Spend all my minutes and waste all my days. I gotta compliment, I gotta serve. I gotta give someone all they deserve.
From Sue's cover of I Gotta Praise to a version of Green Day's Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Ipsum client Tom Morecambe.
I walk a lonely road, the only one that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's home to me, and I walk alone. This empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams, where the city sleeps and I'm the only one, and I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone up there will find me. Till then I walk alone. I'm walking down the line that divides me somewhere in my mind, on the borderline of the edge, and where I walk alone. Read between the lines of what's fucked up and everything's alright. Check my vital signs to know I'm still alive, and I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone out there will find me. Till then I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk I walk this empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams, where the city sleeps and I'm the only one, and I walk my shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone out there will find me. Till then I walk alone.
It's a poem by Matty Blades called A Little Hope. Just as I think it's going okay, so again wakes up the pain. A torrent of memories plague me as I relive it again and again, clawing away at my fractured mind, this insidious mental disease, tearing away any semblance of self and setting my demons free. Let loose, they tear my soul apart, crumbling to the floor, my broken heart is left sore, wound up so tight it feels like I could explode, but somewhere deep inside there must be a little hope, a spark of creativity, a way to release the pain, to pour my heart upon the page, and hope that will save me.
That was Matty Blade with A Little Hope. And someone who has a lot more hope is B Bumble with his Stingers, Nut Rocker.
That was Bumblebee and the Stingers, Nut Rocker. And that brings us to the end of June's edition of the Art and Soul Show. Ipsum in your ears to take away your fears. Join us same time next month. And Nathan plays us into our final track today, and it's Good Vibrations from the Beach Boys.
I love the colorful clothes she wears and the way the sunlight plays upon her hair. I hear the sound of a gentle word on the wind that lifts her perfume through the air.
I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitations. I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitations. I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitations. Picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitations.
Close my eyes, she's somehow closer now. Softly smile, I know she must be kind. In her eyes, she goes with me to a blossom room.
I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitations. I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitations. Picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitations. Picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the I don't know where, but she sends me there. Love, sensation. One elation. Gotta keep those loving good vibrations are happening with her. Gotta keep those loving good vibrations are happening with her. Gotta keep those loving good vibrations. Good vibrations.